6:37 a.m. in the morning. This lighting is very unnatural, but it's true. Damn.
Are you filming? For the public. Class today.
Oh wait, the what? I'm eating a bread right beside a road, bruh. I told him we had no crafty and no water, and he's like, "What?"
Like an hour and a half. We don't use it at all, but tomorrow we're coming. I got you. I'll interview you. Do you want to interview? I'll
But it'll look great when it's on.
We have like rope around, wrap around her, and then pull.
But still, like, hey, I want to feed people.
Yeah, right? I don't know, something about it is like good energy though.
Yeah.
Feeding people, that's always good energy.
Yeah. And then eating the leftovers.
Anything oil and vinegar based, I will take it. This is actually really nice.
I think the last time they did that was for Kingsman.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I go
Why is it the what's it?
like a swab for
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be clear. Yeah, at least put it.
How was your weekend? It was good. Okay, stop. Bobby, step to your left. It's never too late to work hard. How was your weekend?
Good. I'm not gonna ask you about yours.
Relax now.
She's cute.
Actress. Did you get my room?
There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Okay, cool. Hey, how is this? This is the ends and means of
Yeah.
everything.
All right, so time now is 12:06 after midnight. Oh boy, let's talk about today. So yeah, slept for 3 hours and 50 minutes ish, 55 minutes. Didn't have breakfast here. I basically grabbed my red bean bun and put it in my backpack and then just left. Took a bus, arrived at CMD. You know, I know I should have woken up earlier to eat the bread, but also I hate forcing myself to eat food. You know, yeah, I'm a little hungry, but right after I wake up, especially at such early hours, I'm not immediately hungry. And so forcing myself to be hungry at such an early time is terrible. It's a terrible feeling, so I never do that. So took a bus, went to CMD. Before arriving, about a minute away from CMD, Eric called me saying that they're waiting for me. Eric, Ariel, Nick, Shane. Nick wasn't there yet, but Shane was waiting for me. So I arrived, and people are already leaving. I arrived pretty much on time. I was supposed to arrive at 7 and then and then arrive at the Encino house at 8 a.m. And I was pretty much on time, but a lot of people have left already, or haven't left, I guess. But yeah, we arrived, and then Tova was there too. Tova decided to drive there, and Tova's driving multiple people there. Tova's driving Yulia, Ariel, and another person there, and Eric there, which left me, Shane, Nick, and Cliff. Cliff showed up later, and then Nick showed up after that, to take a lift to the Encino house. Javi also showed up, and for a moment I was like, Javi's here to PA? He's not on the list. Turns out Javi's here for his Friday Film 32 class, except he didn't know that today's Film 32 class is canceled. Because Professor Antonio is going to film with us. Yeah, essentially, Cliff has shotgun, me in the back, at the very left, and then Shane in the middle, and then Nick. We zoomed our way to the Encino house. All four of us were really quiet, because we're all really tired, but also because we're film students, and we're all secretly dying inside. The Lyft driver was really jolly. He was trying to be nice, and he's like being a chatterbox, and he's like, oh, the weather's so nice, like it's a great time for vacation. What are you gonna do? Film? There's a film crew? Wow, how many people are in the crew? Like blah blah blah. And we all just don't want to answer him because we're all just like, it's like that meme of like Todd Phillips speaking to Joaquin Phoenix as a Joker as he is like covered in blood. That's like me right now. That's us, the film crew. But anyways, the Lyft car went to Mulholland Drive and went zigzaggy on the mountains and finally arrived. We're about 4 minutes away from 8 a.m. Technically, we can't just drop off the car and go into the property because Film LA does not allow us to do that. And Liana told everyone to just go to the nearby Starbucks and wait. So I walked down the mountain and Shane, Nick, and Cliff followed me. And then we saw a car go past us, a green BMW, or a green Toyota, I think. And Professor Antonio is driving it. And Professor Antonio rolled down his window and was like, where are you guys going? And I'm like, oh, because we can't be there yet. It's not 8 a.m. yet, and Film LA will be like, you know. And at that point, Antonio is with, Antonio is with, is calling Professor Cuchillo. And Antonio was like, well, it's like 3 minutes away from 8 a.m., so might as well go back up. And Cuchillo was like, yeah, it's 3 a.m., it's 3 minutes away. So we're like, okay, so we walked back up. And then later another lift came and the Indian professor showed up. And then more and more people started showing up. We entered the house and today we're working 1 full day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the freaking house. Holy cow, here we go, day 2. So yeah, today's way more chill than yesterday. And not in a great way either, but nobody panicked. At least from what I see. Also, apparently last night Ava cried because Skylar yelled at her or something. I didn't see that. But, yeah, it was so much more chill today. You know, right off the bat, I helped move some stuff. But for the most part, I just chilled. I and Tova left a little bit because Tova left her camcorder in her car. So I walked Tova to the car park somewhere far away. So we're not supposed to drive here. We're all supposed to take lifts. Only selected few of us can only drive. But after the disastrous event that is yesterday, we thought, you know what, fuck it. Let's just drive here, but just park somewhere a little far away. So that's what Tova did. And so I walked Tova all the way to a car park in Encino Plaza, and we talked, and we really became even closer friends because of this shoot. We just talked about just, you know, tension. And I also, because I'm so bothered, even though last night I was kind of unbothered by Leslie, but at the same time I am sort of bothered. Like, it still hurts, you know, that I and Leslie quote unquote argued. Yeah, you know, I just told Tova, I didn't tell Tova that it's Leslie, but I told Tova that I quote unquote argued with someone last night. And she thinks I hate her, but I really don't. And that person is on set right now. And Tova never asked me who it is because and then a little bit way later in the day, I asked her, why weren't you curious? and she said, oh, it's because like I respect your privacy and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. Ooh. So that's that. But yeah, and then for the most part today, I brought my Sony a7 III with my Sigma lens, and I took a bunch of photos with it. Tova took a bunch of photos with it as well. I trust Tova; she won't drop it. But Tova isn't the cleanest person ever. Like, she would like lick her fingers after eating food, and she would grab other stuff, and she would grab my camera in ways that I don't like. Like, she would grab the lens by the extension barrel, which is not good. So I would tell her like, hey, you know, let's not do that. But overall, she used my camera a lot. I use my camera a lot. And the plan is that today will be the last day for Tova until Torrance, until next Friday. Meaning that, you know, because of the tension on set, and because she literally has nothing to do on set other than taking photos, she's just gonna quit. She's not coming anymore. She's gonna focus on her job, and she just finds coming to set pointless. And because of that, she's thinking, since I am location manager and I have basically nothing to do, you know what, fuck it. I'll be the next BTS. Since I was BTS for WoW, might as well do this. And I have a damn good camera and damn good lens. So you know what, screw it. So so Tova said, yeah, you know, you can stand in for me. And I'm like, yeah. So that's the plan now. So tomorrow Tova won't come, and I will become BTS team. And we told Bree, and Bree said she won't tell Kuchio, which is great. Because Kuchio saw me taking photos from the camera, and he's okay with it. Normally you can't do it, but because it's a very professional looking camera, okay, sure. I seem like a serious person, sure. But if Bree reminds Kuchio that I'm standing in as BTS, then maybe Kuchio won't be happy. So let's not remind him. If he notices at any given moment, I would just say, oh, I'm standing in for Tova, and I'm using Bree's SD card. Meaning that, you know, all the photos and videos will go through Bree, which means they'll go through Kuchio. Which is bullshit. I'm using my own SD card, bitch. So that's that. And throughout the whole day today, I've been wanting to have an opportunity to just walk up to Leslie and just say, hey. That's it. Just say, hey. Or hello or something. And I expect that she will be shocked. A little shocked, a little surprised. Oh, I thought you hate me. Yeah. Yeah. I never had the chance because today was a little upsetting for me, but I feel like it's partially just my personality and also all the stress that I have accumulated in the last few weeks, and now it's the aftertaste of that stress. It's sort of lingering, you know, and that is, I feel invisible, I feel unseen, I feel unimportant. So throughout the whole day, the camera department is all high and mighty. They get to go upstairs to shoot a bedroom scene where one of the actresses is naked. Not full frontal, but like back. And only top half, but still naked. And first of all, thank God I visited the second floor because I'm location manager. Fuck you. But also, they don't let me go up, which is understandable. They want to keep it minimal, and they're also filming in the master bedroom, which is a sensitive room, but it just, I feel secluded. And so Tova also isn't allowed upstairs, so all the BTS is all downstairs. So when they were filming upstairs, we're all just like filming other random stuff downstairs. The art department spent like a whole hour moving a statue and trying to erect that statue. And then like the other part of the art department tried really hard to dress the kitchen for the kitchen scenes. And then camera department G&E is just bouncing all over the place. And they're all moving C-stands, moving flags, moving silks. They're super serious. Dominic is the hardest worker. Like, he's always doing something. He's always setting up lights. He's always asking questions. He's always running around. It's absolutely crazy. And Leslie's super serious. She goes around, runs around with gaff tape, blah, 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 blah. And it's just again, like when I took film production and when I first met Leslie, or like when I got to know Leslie and she got to know me, it was almost like I'm gonna be in the camera team too. Like we're all gonna be on set, you know. But really, I'm not. I'm on the set, yes, but I'm in the producing team. I'm not the camera people. But throughout the entire day to day, it was like the camera people are the most important people, and they're all super serious and they're all super like snappy and quick and maybe a little mean towards each other. It's just like I feel excluded and I don't want to go near the camera people. Like I know Jonathan's nice and Theo's not a nice person, but he acts nice at least. Tyler's nice. Anna's nice too. Gustavo's nice, but then Ariel's nice. Ariel's second AC. Ethan is nice. The second AC for Can Be, but yet, I just can't go near them. It's like they're just one impenetrable wall of very important people, and somehow I just cannot. I feel like a peasant throughout the day today. And again, I feel like it's partially just my personality because I always think people either dislike me or ignore me, but I just can't go near them when they're together. When they're separated, like Jonathan, like during lunch, Jonathan would go up and tell to me like, "This is a real ends and means moment," and I'm like, "Haha, yeah." Like again, I like Jonathan's a nice dude and I trust him, but like only on one-on-one where I can get nice with these people, but like with the camera team together, active on set, it's like they're just an impenetrable wall of important people, and there's just this menacing aura coming from them. And then yeah, so also earlier today I saw Cliff, which is great. I mentioned that already. And Cliff is supposed to be a grip. I made him grip. But yet, for some reason, Birkin assigned him as art department PA, which is bullshit. Cliff never signed up to be in the art department. So in the morning, I straight up walked up to Jonathan and I said, "Hey, Cliff wants to be grip. He never signed up to be art department." And Jonathan was like, "Oh, sure, the more the better." So Cliff joined the grip team. So a lot of people are in grip team because Orson's not here. Not Orson. Daniel's not here. So Gregory became the key grip, and Orson's not here, so another person became electric. Or I don't think there even is an electric today. The whole house is very electrical, I guess. But yeah, I spent a very good time today impersonating professors and other students with Red and Tova. We had a good laugh, and yeah, today I had a lot of good laughs in general. But at some point, okay, so there's lunch, and I fantasize about eating lunch with Leslie during the shoot. I will grab my food, walk in front of her and say, "Can I have lunch with you?" And whatever she answers, it's gonna be like I prepared. So if she said yes, I'm like, "Okay, let's have lunch together." And she'll be confused, like, "I thought you hate me," and I would laugh, like, "Hate you? No, I'm a little angry with you, but I still like you. I still love you." I won't say that. That's corny. I still like you. So let's eat. If she said no, I'll just laugh it off. I'll just say, "Okay, Jesus Christ," and I'll just walk away. I'll be nonchalant about it. Either way, it's a W for me. But of course, Leslie made that impossible by eating beside Kuchio, the Indian professor, and Drew. Just 4 of them around a round table, and then other people like me, Liana, Bree, Tova, Benny, Cliff was with me as well. I had to eat on the grass lawn on the little golf course. Yeah, on the floor. And today is Italian cuisine. We have cheese, ravioli, garlic bread, Caesar salad. We had a pretty good chocolate cake. The desserts, they are so good with the desserts, and a can of Sprite. And I don't know why, just like yesterday, after eating that meal, I feel stuffed as hell, but also I had stomachache. And it lasted the whole day. Like, my stomach just felt terrible for 7 hours straight after that lunch, and I just endured that 7 hours. It was amazing, actually. Like, how did I even manage to do that? But in the middle of having the lunch, Kuchio randomly walked up, went up to Benny, and whispered to his ear, this is a dangerous meal because there are too many carbs and not enough lean meats, and this meal is too catatonic, which is very fucking insane. But I understand, to ensure high quality production, you need to make sure that even the food is good. So, low carbs, high proteins, give people energy, make people awake, make sure everyone's healthy. But yeah, holy shit. I'm satisfied with it, even though after eating it, I want to die. But I'm also satisfied with the meal. But yeah, it's very funny. And so because of that, Birkin and Benny had to work on switching out some meals. So we canceled Indian and Chinese meals because they're too carb heavy and too fatty. And we're replacing it with American food, which is stupid as fuck. But who cares? Chow mein. I looked at the menu. Chow mein. Oh yeah, my favorite is a beef chow mein. Oh, fuck you. I would have a good laugh. It probably won't taste great, but at least if they give us Chinese food, I would have a good laugh. I would have a good ass laugh, especially if I'm eating it with Leslie. I would have a good laugh. Anyways, I digress. After the lunch, they filmed one more scene beside the pool at the cabana, and then after that, we moved to kitchen. And I was near death at that point. Like, my stomachache was going really bad. And I was also really sleepy and tired. I just laid on the couch, on the sofa. It was really comfortable, and I just laid on there and just stared into the air. And I'm sure Leslie looked at me from time to time to see that I am dissolving as a human being. I am dissociating. But yeah, yeah, I'm gonna talk about Leslie again later. So, the camera people swarming in, I was on the verge of death, and then I helped clear up the path, and I played with the dolly a little bit, but the camera people swarmed into that one spot, and now the impenetrable wall of people are there, and I was at the very back, laying down on the couch. At some point, I almost fell asleep. That was before the camera people swarmed in, but at some point, I almost fell asleep, and I was so bored. And then I felt really useless. That's when I started telling people like Benny, and then telling people like Tova that I'm just not happy. I feel invisible. I feel ignored. I feel like a peasant. And I slowly but surely, when the semester began, I was near the top. Especially when I UPM for the campaign shoot, I was so near the top. I was one layer away from being top. Birkin and Zach are the producers, and then above them is Kuchio. And he's the king. I was so near. I was so fucking near. And I feel like I've dropped to near bottom. Jaden and Liam are near bottom. They're set dressers with nothing to do, and they're given bullshit jobs. They are the bottom. I was so close to top, and I was near bottom at that point. And it just didn't feel right. And again, I know I'm pre-production, and all my work is done, but me sitting there being lazy, falling asleep, I feel A, I feel bad for not doing anything. B, I've done things, but those people out there on the set right now, they don't know what I've done. They can't feel that I've done things. Yeah, and again, it's just me, because they probably know that I've done things. They probably know because I have organized location scouts, and people know that I've organized them. Me, I did that shit. But, I don't know. It's just me feeling left out. So, I didn't feel very great for the most part. at some point people started having walkie-talkies. And again, I know I'm the location manager, I don't need a walkie-talkie, but there are some clear hierarchy issues because of the walkie-talkies. So Drew ordered 10 walkie-talkies. Guess who are the 10 people who got them? Obviously, okay, you know, I got the list. I got the list of people who have walkie-talkies because I have a list for everything, right? I'm a fucking detective, leave me alone. So Birkin, the producer, obviously. Zach, the producer. Skylar, the first AD, makes sense. Jonathan, the DP, makes sense. Andrew, the grip. He's not key grip, but he's got a walkie-talkie just for the grip team. Liana, second AD, makes sense. Carly, the director, makes sense. And then Sidlali, the art director, which makes sense until you realize that Red exists. Red is the production designer, and he's not given a walkie-talkie. Sidlali's more powerful than Red now. Why? I feel fucking bad for Red. And then also Leslie, of course, because she's so powerful. She's basically part of the professor's team, which is above everything else right now. I'm a little pissed that Leslie's too powerful. And then also Jordan from Wednesday Film 32, for some reason he has walkie-talkie because he's line producer. And Benny doesn't have one, which is weird and confusing. But anyways, at some point during the kitchen scene, Birkin asked Tova if she can take photos of all the walkie-talkies and write down who has the walkie-talkie and what number. And so I thought, oh, you know, there's something to do. So even though I had stomachache, I was like, you know what? I'll join in too. So I and Tova, we suddenly got super excited and we ran around the entire fucking house. And we started running up to people and asking them, we started guessing who has the walkie-talkies. And then we saw these people and she would take photos of them and I would write down the number. And we just run and we meet up and we run around again. At some point, Tova slipped and fell. It was ridiculous. I think it's the first time somebody slipped and fell on the plastic wraps. But we all ran and it was so much fun. And we all learned that Jordan has a walkie-talkie. So at some point I was yelling, where's Jordan? Where's Jordan? Where's Jordan? Where's Jordan? Where's Jordan? And then to the grip team, and they're all like, Jordan, I think he's upstairs. And then me and Tova, we met up again, and we can't go upstairs. We're barred. Upstairs is like the forbidden land. So we're at the front of the staircase and we're just yelling, Jordan, come down! Jordan, come down! Don't be scared! Jordan, come down! And he just doesn't come down. And both me and Tova laughed so hard. We're like two kids. We're just enjoying this so much. Like, we're taking this way more seriously than we should. And Jordan showed up eventually. But it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Also, it's Tova who went up to Leslie and asked her for a number, not me. I wish I could have done that, but But yeah, that was so much fun. It was amazing. Oh, and then rewind a little bit. Right after lunch, I said hey to Leslie. And I had to find the perfect moment. There's so many moments where Leslie's alone and I was going to approach her, but then she immediately runs off because she has a new task or something, because she needs to save world hunger or something. But at some point after lunch, she and I think Drew or the Indian professor went to the table tennis room where Crafty is at, and they spaced out. It's at that moment, it's a very rare moment where they have nothing to do. So she just walked over to Leslie and went, hey. And it was it wasn't casual hey, it was hey, I'm here. And Leslie was like, hey. And I walked away. She is shocked. It's so clear that she's surprised. She probably, and throughout, so before lunch, when I and Leslie see each other, we would just ignore each other. I didn't want to ignore her, but I have to because I don't want to block her from her work. Yeah, I said hey, and she was just surprised. I have the upper hand now. I am playing with her feelings now, and I have the upper hand now. Even though I'm the one who's being ignored, and I want Leslie so desperately, and she probably doesn't even want me that much. I feel like she didn't lie when she said she likes me 80%. And even if she isn't like romantically attached to me, she at least looks forward to hanging out with me. So to a certain degree, she's probably hurt by the quote unquote argument we had last night. And given that she's purposefully not reading my WhatsApp text and purposefully not looking at my Instagram stories, I can tell she is emotionally, to a certain degree, affected by this. So when I said, hey, she's probably really shocked, and I have the upper hand now. Like, yeah, sure, I'm emotionally affected, but so is she. So, hey, I can take emotional damage, because I take it all the time. I'm used to it. She can't. I mean, she can, because she also takes emotional damage all the time, but not from me. This is her first time. So I have the W now. Fuck her. So there's that. And then this set went on and on and on and on and on. At some point we have nothing to do. So Jaden and Liam, they were really like children. They're really like kids. At some point near the end of the shoot today, Leslie, Birkin, Zach, Crucio, and Antonio. No, Crucio wasn't there. Just Antonio. Professor Antonio. Oh, my knuckle. Professor Antonio sat at a little round table. And they talked really like seriously. And again, like why the fuck is Leslie there? Why is she so powerful? I think that's both really hot and also really wrong. Like she's more powerful than me right now, which is wrong as fuck. She gets a walkie-talkie, she gets to speak to the producers way more than I do. I'm in the producing team, motherfucker. But anyways, Liam saw them and was like, hey Enoch, do you think we can like walk close to them and hear what they're saying? Like eavesdrop on them? And I thought that's a really stupid idea, but sure, go ahead. That's fun. So Liam went over there to take Crafty, but really to try to overhear. We couldn't overhear jack shit. And I followed him and I said, oh, you go first to avoid suspicion. We didn't hear jack shit. And then we went back. And at that moment, I really, really felt like a peasant because Liam is a peasant in this hierarchy. And I felt real low that I couldn't even overhear people's conversation. And we have to pretend to grab Crafty just to be able to eavesdrop on people, like for a glimpse of like hope. And then literally 5 minutes later, Cliff joined in the conversation, Benny joined in the conversation, and I joined Benny and Cliff, and Leslie was there. And I start speaking to them. Suddenly I'm speaking to semi-powerful people. And it's just so cool that I exist on both planes now. And it's so clear that Tova belongs to the peasants as well, because people distrust Tova. Zach and Birkin distrust Tova and thinks Tova is being distracting by taking BTS photos, and they trust Bree way more, apparently. And so Tova would also go up to Jaden and Liam and Ava and Trinity and just start complaining about Sitlali being bossy and also Jonathan being too tense. I like Jonathan. I think he's great. He is a little tense, but it's totally understandable. Sitlali's too bossy, that's true. But it's clear which position Tova's taking. Tova's down in the hierarchy. So I'm with them. I'm down and dirty and low, which I hate to say, but it's true. But then suddenly I'm also messing with the high ends. Ooh. I'm existing on both planes. Now that's baller. That's absolutely fucking baller. Yeah, but so I went up to Leslie. So another huge remark. I just walked up to Leslie and Cliff. Again, a very opportunistic moment where they both seem to have nothing to do for some reason. I walked up to them and I was like, hey. And I literally directed this to Leslie. I said, oh, I was going to tell you a joke yesterday, but I didn't. But Eric told me that Antonio didn't come to school and broke his leg intentionally to avoid Film 33. And I told her the pun, and she actually laughed. Again, she's like she looks a little surprised that I'm telling her this and acting like nothing happened. She's probably really confused that like every single time I speak to her in person or in text, it's like I have a different personality. On May 20th, I'm like bawling my eyes, like I'm like crying, and I was so emotionally raw, and she hugged me and gave me a head pat and gave me a vape. This is like, I think the first time she directly gave me a vape, her vape. So I indirectly kissed her, even though the first time I vaped, I also indirectly kissed Leslie, and the first time and when I vaped Crystal's milk tea flavored vape, it was also indirectly a kiss with Leslie. But this is the first time where it's her vape, and she's only giving it to me to try to let me hit on it. So it was so intimate and raw and so real. And then the next time we chat, it's like I'm dying. I'm super weak and mentally broken. That was the film club festival. And then next time we talk, I'm like confrontational. We quote unquote argued. And then the next time we talk, suddenly I'm funny and nice again, acting like we're all just okay. We're not super intimate, but just okay. Leslie's probably really confused and think I have DID right now. And she's still refusing to read my WhatsApp texts and Instagram stories. Just because today happened doesn't mean Leslie like stopped thinking I don't hate her. Like, she probably still thinks I hate her. She's probably just really confused right now. So again, like, Leslie's emotions are in my palm right now instead of the other way around, which is usually the case. So I have the upper hand right now. Even though, again, I'm emotionally hurting, I see Leslie and I just want to, like, tell her how much I like her and, like, spend time together with her and hear her voice. She probably doesn't think the same way. It's okay. But I can't, and it's emotionally damaging. That's true. But given that she probably, maybe, apparently, just lost one of her potential best friends, who is somewhat interesting, this person, and then suddenly this person is super unpredictable and may hate me, maybe not. She's also dealing with some emotional damage because of me. So, because of that, I have the W now. For the first time in my interaction with Leslie, I have the W now. So, there's that. And then a little bit later, she said bye to both of us after we wrapped. So, originally it's me, Shane, Cliff, and Nick take a lift back, and the lift code finally works. But at the end, Cliff and Nick are going to be driven back to CMD by Carly's mom. So instead, I and Shane just took a lift, just the both of us. Took a lift back home. And then, yeah, back to CMD. It was like 8:30-ish. Some people are still standing and waiting inside the building, in the home base. Tova's there again, a bunch of PAs are there. We chatted a little bit. I was gonna take a bus back home, listen to some music, get, relaxed. But Eric said he's gonna drive me. So Eric drove me. And I thought this is it. This is not it. Very near my home, suddenly a cop car started beeping at us. And then so Eric's like, bro, what's going on? And I was confused too. Eric parked at the side of the road, pulled over, and the cop it took him like 3 minutes to get out of the cop car and to walk up to Eric and was like, and Eric at that point was like very worried, like my headlights were on, like I wasn't speeding, like what's going on? And the cop was like, hey, you ran a red light. Where's your driver's license and where's your insurance? And Eric's like, oh, it's my parents' insurance. And he's like, where's your parents' insurance? And then he walked away and it was like very bad. And for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I and Eric were stuck in the car and I felt terrible. But Eric probably feels even worse because he doesn't want to get a ticket. And the cop came back and Eric did get a ticket. And furthermore, Eric has to go to court before September because of running a red light. And that's so stupid because we never did run a red light. I think the cop was just like hallucinating. Eric clearly didn't see a red light. I clearly didn't see a red light. There's no red light. So I don't know what the fuck happened. But anyways, at the end I walked back home. because, like, again, he pulled over very near my home. I was hungry. I went to the bathroom, took a shower. I was hungry, and I made myself curry rice, except I only have onions and some beef bits. The beef bits I got are absolutely fucking terrible because most of the beef bits are all chewy tendons and they're barely edible. Yeah. Really didn't eat any meat today other than a little bit of beef. And cheese doesn't count. Yeah. So, yeah, hope Eric's alright. And USC just announced their decisions, which is absolutely insane, so I'm going to film myself reacting to that. And then I'm going to directly go to bed, and that's it for today. Yeah, again with Leslie, don't know what to do, but the great thing is I know I'll be seeing her like 3 more days in a row. So if I can fix this relationship in the next 3 days, for sure, let's do it. I know I'm probably hurting our relationship. We're either hurting our relationship or making it even more interesting for her. Either way, it is kind of a battle. The chess game is still on. Like, just because I confess to her doesn't mean we immediately become super close and nice to each other. And I'm a little jealous because Leslie like does like silly little remarks to other people, like Jonathan, like, "Ooh, your shoelaces are untied. Oh, haha, this and that." But like she would just walk past me and ignore me. Bitch, I confess to you, and you said you like me. So yeah. Great thing is tomorrow I don't have to wake up that early. The call time is like 10:30, so yippee-ki-yay, 6 hours of sleep. Let's go. So time now is 1:44. Update. So I just found out the final transfer decision, USC, and I was very nervous because it was basically half and half for me. I got interviewed, and I think my essays are really good. Obviously, I don't want to sound cocky, but I think my essays are pretty good. I thought I legit have a chance at USC film production, and boom, I got rejected. Instead, I am offered film studies, which is still great. And for sure, if USC offer me film studies, I'm fucking going. I don't care about LMU screenwriting. I don't care about CSUN or anything else. I'm going to film studies. Except, it starts at spring. It's not letting me take this fall. It's only letting me start at spring. What in the actual fuck? I'm super confused, and I feel more negative about this than positive. And also, apparently it's a 25% acceptance rate, so it's not that impressive anyways. And it's so stupid because the essays I wrote for film studies are shit. They're all winged. But then I tried so hard with the film production essays. So, yeah, and my cloud busting didn't get me accepted. It did not. So aside from My Bloody Valentine getting accepted for Long Beach, every other short film got me rejected. So holy shit. I hope I can appeal in USC. Can I appeal? I hope I can. But my god, I don't know. Really don't know. My likely choice is still going to film studies. I have people to talk to at least. I can talk to John L about this. I can talk to Allegro, the producer, about this. I know he's a CAMS major. But yeah, this is fucked up. This is actually fucked up. So aside from Long Beach, every other school has rejected me for film production. Am I really that bad? Am I really that bad at this? Wow, am I really that fucking bad? Wow, I cannot believe it. I actually cannot believe it. I'm actually that fucking bad. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. Really don't know what to do with it. Again, film school is not everything, and film studies is possibly even more useful, but fuck. This is awful. This is, I mean, not awful. I just got admitted to USC, but for only film studies. 25% acceptance rate. It's so goofy. Out of 9,400 students, so they're admitting 9,400 students this year? No way. Or maybe 9,400 applicants? Oh my god. Yeah, that's not very impressive. On the bright side of things, yes, at least I got admitted to one major in USC. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. All that hard work I put into the freaking story idea and everything, and the interview too. I got fucking interviewed. Alright, I gotta sleep now. Okay, time now is 8:36 a.m. in the morning on May 27th. Oh god, okay. So, yeah, yeah, day three of the shoot. Let's do this, guys. Day 3 of the shoot. Why does May 27th feel like an important day? I feel like something happened today, but I forgot what it is. And I just realized that May 15th is like an important day, and I probably forgot to celebrate that. Anyways, I slept from 2:30 to 8:10. So that's about 5.5 hours. I did immediately go to fall asleep though, that's for sure, obviously. And I feel like shit right now. I'm super tired. Just because the call time is pushed 3.5 hours later. No, actually, just because the call time is pushed 2.5 hours later doesn't mean jack shit. I'm still super sleep deprived. Yeah, with the USC news last night, I really had to absorb it a little bit. I still think film studies is a fantastic choice because, yeah, I'm not film production, but taking film studies doesn't completely prevent me from taking film production courses. I can still take a couple of them. Yeah, it's not going to be as full of an experience as being a film production student, but still, I'm in SCA. I got accepted into SCA. That's a huge fucking deal. It's not as cool as film production, but it's still pretty cool, you know? It's still not bad. Also, with film studies, I feel like I can minor in something else, like anthropology, which would also be very fun. It's just that it starts in spring, so that ruins a lot of things for me. I may not graduate in time in 2025. I have a whole semester of nothing. I have to find an internship, maybe, just to stay alive here. I don't know how the I-20 works. Either that or I break the law and like hide here as an undocumented immigrant. But either way, yeah, that's a problem. So we'll have to figure that out. I'm going to speak with Allegro on this, honestly. But yeah, today's shoot, again, I probably have nothing important to do anyways. I'll go there and I'll probably continue sleeping on the couch. But really, it's probably pretty crazy what I did a couple nights ago, quote unquote, arguing with Leslie. It's actually pretty ballsy of me to do something like that. And I don't know if it's the right choice or the wrong choice. Because, you know, my plan is right now is just charm her back. Keep talking to her and keep expressing my love for her. Keep being witty, but staying strong, you know? And maybe she'll like it even more. Maybe she's gonna think, wow, you know, being in a relationship with this Enoch guy is like playing a game. You never know how he's feeling the next day. It's pretty interesting. I like him even more. or it's gonna be the opposite. Maybe that quote unquote argument completely turned her off and she's just like, wow, fuck you, I'll never speak to you again, for real. I mean, I wish it's the former, and I have 3 days left to do it, and now I'm beginning to low-key think that 3 days is not enough, and that was probably the wrong thing for me to do. But again, like, I feel like even though I and Leslie, okay, if all of this ends now, May 20th, what happened on May 20th is still sort of powerful enough to make me just call it a day. Like, at the end of the day, Leslie gave me a head pat and hugged me. The girl I love hugged me back. Fuck yeah. I mean, if it all ends now, if the world takes Leslie away from me now, yeah, it would be very fucking sad, but you know, it's not like I didn't return home with nothing in my hands. It's not like I got nothing back. I did. May 20th is just it's you know, supreme. How to say, Leslie's embrace. I don't believe that this is the same person. Leslie now is really mean and hateful. Leslie before is just, on May 20th, is just the most supreme girl I've ever met. Like, at that moment, I don't want to make comparisons because Leslie and Mary are completely different, but I've never even been this close with Mary, but with Leslie, there's just sort of this intimacy that I just love. So, yeah.
It's a Russian meat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What?
This does not look good. So this is what the vegans get. Okay, no worries. For being vegan.
Whoa.
Random English.
Set visit.
Breakdown.
Do you know anything about that? Like,
Hold on 1 second. Hey, Benny, can you guys, is it possible you guys get black gaffer's tape?
Very can?
Okay.
Are we ready?
Well, at 5, 6, 8 split, we're a little bit dark.
Okay.
And I was
A little bit.
wondering if you too soft and also not gonna work as well. What they're doing is they're fighting me on having our lights try to make it perfect.
Alright, time now is 12:58. Holy shit, I'm so sleepy. Finally the sleepiness is hitting me. Okay, so let's talk about what happened today. I arrived at CMD right on time. I'm back for day 3 and waited a while. Our call time was 10:30. So at around 9:40, so Birkin drove me, Cliff, Ariel, and Yulia all the way up to Encino. And today there's going to be a little difference, and that is Tova's not coming. And Tova is, for the last couple of days, Tova was basically my emotional support. But she's not here, and for some reason today was way better. And that has nothing to do with Tova not being here. It's just that I felt way better today. Maybe it's because I slept for 5 hours instead of 4. But I think it's just more because I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel better. And also, again, with the whole USC rejecting me for film production news last night, theoretically I should feel sad. But really, there's so much going on in my life right now that that's not even emotionally affecting me all that much. But yeah, so we went to Encino together. And we joked a lot. We joked around. We saw Leslie and Drew in the truck, and yeah, we started talking about Drew, and like I don't know why, but today was really funny. Like the whole day, throughout the whole day, was just really funny for me. Like I constantly find everything funny. So we joked around. Apparently, Drew was in the Marines and he used to navigate for submarines. And Birkin was like, boom, 10 years under the water. And that was such a funny statement. And then we talked about Leslie a little bit. And I've never heard of people talk about Leslie. It's almost like she's kind of like aloof. Like she's above us all or something. But Birkin said like yesterday, Birkin saw Leslie feeling kind of stressed, and Birkin walked up to her to like comfort her, say something to her, comfort her, and Leslie was like, "Shut up, go to work. Don't talk, go to work." And Birkin's like, "Whoa, okay, whoa," and Birkin's like, "Wow, she's like a beast. She's only 18 years old. She's like crazy or something." No, he didn't say she's crazy. It's just like she's like, really real. And Ariel's like, yeah, Leslie's just crazy. Like, she said she didn't even like get into filmmaking until like recently, and she knows all this stuff. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. She's like a prodigy or something. Meanwhile, I'm not. Like my film essays and my short films suck so much that UCLA and USC and Chapman, they all reject me. So that's awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about Leslie again later. We arrived at the Encino house, and Birkin dumped us off at Subway, but kindly. And because Birkin has to pick Lolly up and bring a bunch of props into the house, so we saw a Coffee Bean across the parking lot, so we went there, and I got myself an iced blend mocha, which has more chocolate than it is coffee. Cliff got a coffee and a sandwich. And then we walked up to the Encino house, and that's it. And today, I decided to fully stick with BTS stuff because Tova's not here. So me with my Sony 7 III camera, I filmed everything. And I made sure I had in my mind how this is going to go out, how this is going to look. So I'm going to film the safety meeting, and Skylar saying it's day 3. I'm going to film every single scene, their setups. I'm going to film every department as much as possible, even the producing department, even the crafty. And then I'm going to film like literally everything. I'm going to film people eating lunch. And then after we wrap, I'm going to film people packing up, and I'm going to film people leaving. Tova never filmed all of those. And again, I'm not saying Tova's bad. It's just that I put the BTS in BTS. Because in my mind, this isn't just like some Instagram photos. This is literally documentary material. So I filmed a lot. And I also want to do things. I want to look serious and do things. And I want to run around looking like I'm doing something interesting. So, that's what I did. And yeah, I texted Allegro about getting into CAMS in USC. And he said, oh, it's great. He was honest with it. He was like, oh, it's great. In USC, the CAMS program is not bad. There's some interesting courses here and there. And I asked him if I can take film production classes. And he's like, yeah, of course. It's really common. But film production students have higher priority. But it is pretty common that media studies students take film production classes. Because last night I checked the class list. And there are a bunch of really interesting classes like directing and cinematography. Of course, I would love to take them, even though they're probably extremely difficult to get in. But then we have classes about spotting music. We have a class dedicated to art direction. There's a world building class. Like, holy crap, come on, I gotta go. So, that's that. And then I asked him about film shoot opportunities, and he said, yeah, there's still opportunities. Like, you can always go to grad sets, like grad film sets. And he sent me a couple links or a couple Instagram pages that are essentially people doing film sets. So you know, I should also help out and whatever. So that's great. And also CAMS is a great major if you also want to minor in something, because for film production, if you're a film production major, you can't minor in anything because that major is going to consume you whole. But if you're film studies, at least you can minor in something. So it's actually pretty great. And of course, it's all about the connections. So I can still make a lot of connections as film studies. It just sucks that it starts in spring. And because of this, I either find an internship and just stay a few months here, or I continue studying in my college. I thought this is going to be the end. This is not the end. Whoa. But yeah, that's unfortunate. And that doesn't mean I'm only doing 3 semesters of USC, even though I think that would be enough. Like, realistically, I did like 3 semesters in this college, like after I came here. But 3 semesters is enough for me to build the family that I have now. Like people like Cliff and Leslie and like Aoba and to some degree Pepper, you know, Michelle, Betsy, freaking, you know, Justin, Tova, Benny, Birkin, like all these people, they're almost like family to me. I see them so often, I speak to them so often. Thomas in a sense. But I believe I can do the same thing in USC and probably even better. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. But I'm happy with what I have now in my college, that's for sure. Anyways, after those encouraging words, we have the shoot today. And again, for some reason, I thought it's just going to get worse and worse and everyone's just going to get more and more tired. But today was way better. I don't know why. Apparently, Skylar went up to Benny last night and told Benny to just chill out, which is weird because I thought Skylar's the more stressed one than Benny. So today was extremely chill. We had a lot of scenes, and we ended up not doing a couple of them, but we still finished most of what we planned to film, and it was just very smooth. We filmed a Cabana scene, and then we filmed no wait, that was yesterday. Oh my god, it's so confusing. Oh no, we filmed a Cabana scene, that was pickup, and then we filmed another pickup at the hallway, and then we had a shot right beside the swimming pool, a dolly shot, and then we had this crazy steady cam shot, that was after lunch, and then we had the alleyway shot at the very, very end, really late at night, at not super late, but kind of late, you know, at around 9:30 p.m. We shot at the quote-unquote alleyway beside the house, which is under construction. But all the shots went smoothly, and because I'm BTS, yesterday I got the vibe that I can't go near the camera team, and I was pretty cynical about it, but today that cynicism is just completely gone for some reason. Like, I approached Anna and Gustavo and Theo a lot more, and people like Anna and Theo, I like never talk to them, especially Anna, but for some reason, because of this shoot, I just talk to them a lot more. And then people like Nick and Dominic are usually super duper quiet, but because of this shoot, they really, really speak up, and Nick are showing some true colors. Like a couple days ago, Nick was like, wow, this house fucking sucks, like, ooh, don't this blah, blah, blah. And today, Nick was like complaining, like, oh, my life fucking sucks. And like, I've never seen this side of Nick before. And Dominic's like talking a lot, like joking, being sarcastic, and he sees me filming him and he's like posing. Like, I've never seen Dominic like this before. Hell, I've never seen myself like this. Like, I was so extroverted, like I could just walk around and like point a camera, and even in front of professors, like in front of Indian professor, in front of Kuchio, I would just point a camera up at their faces. At some point, the Indian professor saw me pointing a camera and he did this. And like, I'm surprised Kuchio like didn't get mad or annoyed at my camera. And again, like, my camera quality was really good. My lens is fucking amazing. I got some really good portraits, but I mostly filmed videos, and I showed them to Bree. Bree came pretty late, but Bree was really impressed. So overall, today was like fly as fuck. Honestly, I had a great time today. For some reason, day 3 is like peak for me. Like, I really enjoyed my time. At some point, me, Benny, and Birkin went upstairs to the pool room to do some production stuff, to handle the Torrance meeting, but we're so close to completely 100% securing all the locations. We handled the farmers market insurance a little bit, church insurance a little bit. Church insurance? Not really sure, but the church a little bit. I will finalize with the Torrance, send them a COI, certificate of insurance, and then we find an agave farm or whatever. That's Benny's job. I don't want to do that anymore. And then boom, all locations are done. So that's pretty amazing. Again, Birkin once again raised the question. I don't know why, but I'm getting the feeling that you're a little annoyed at me. And I'm like, no, I'm not annoyed at you. And he's like, I don't know, you're just like quiet. But usually you talk a lot. And I'm like, really? Because usually I'm really quiet. But this Film 33 sort of opened me up. Yeah. Yeah, so today was fly as fuck. Like, I enjoyed today so much. It was actually amazing. It was also tiring, but I didn't feel tired at all. I didn't fall asleep at all either. I got to do more shit because I'm always moving around with a camera in my hand. And like my hands are a little sore right now because I hold the camera so much. But it was just so much fun. At some point, Birkin wanted me to find gloves, so I went around and I asked Red, and Red gave me gloves. At some point, Birkin also asked me for some plastic cups because the Indian professor wanted some coffee. So I got the plastic cups, and the Indian professor was like, thank you. It's just like, damn, I'm really doing shit now. And it also helped move some stuff. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. And I just think, I just really feel comfortable now that I'm familiar with all the PAs and I'm familiar with all the people, and there's just less tension. I don't know why, but there's just less tension. Also, Ava got into USC film production, and I'm not telling them that I got rejected. That's super fucking unfair. Like, again, I don't want to sound cocky, but Ava's not it, okay? Her reviews are absolute dog shit. But, okay, sure. I just think that international students get lower priority. So, I don't know, that's really stupid. But film studies is still not bad. But I'd rather do film production all the way. But anyways, yeah, and again, degree doesn't matter. What matters is connection. So if I make more connections, you know, it would be better for me. So yeah, again, overall, there are a lot of interesting moments today, but none of them really stick out to me now that I'm thinking about it. I just did such a great job sniping people, stalking people, because my lens can go to 70 and plus the crop mode. So I always film from afar, and people will have no idea that I'm secretly filming them. Lunch came, and it's basically American food, and I got this very bad meal of like boiled broccoli, mashed potatoes, and deep fried chicken breast, and like salad and this silly vanilla cake. It's easily the middest meal. Yeah, we all sat at the grass, me, Cliff, a bunch of people, like Benny and Skylar, and like almost 1/3 of the class, including Drew and the Indian professor himself, sat on the grass on the golf course and ate. And it was easily the funniest and most entertaining part of lunch because I would joke around as if Drew and the Indian professor are not there, but I still keep joking around and I seriously don't care. And like we talked about like spices, and I talked about how like wasabi here is really weak, and then somebody said, oh, wasabi in America are all horseradish, and then Benny said, oh, speaking of horseradish, one of my most fonding memories, and we all started laughing because that's like such an insane way to start off a sentence. And then like again, I joked about the Indian professor like almost right, like so near the Indian professor, and he probably doesn't even know that I joked about him. And I spent some time today being all serious and working on the permits and stuff, but Also, I spent even more time today just talking about memes and showing off memes. Like I showed Benny the very spicy memes that I made about Cuchillo and Antonio and Carly, and he showed them to Birkin and Liana, and they both laughed their asses off. And it's such a cool reaction. And again, it's this, like yesterday I felt like a peasant. I was like really, really low. But today I felt like the fact that I can just show memes to Birkin, the freaking producer, and he would laugh, just means like it's all good, man. It's all good. And then for some reason, Benny decided to show the meme of Professor Antonio to Cuchillo, and apparently Cuchillo laughed. What the fuck? Was he drunk? Was he like half asleep or something? Because he's the most serious guy ever. But apparently he had a chuckle and he said, well, you gotta ask Professor Antonio before you post this. But holy shit. Maybe the meme is just too post ironic. So much so that Cuchillo doesn't even realize that it's a meme. But it's pretty fun. And it's so silly too, because Liam was really a big fan of the memes. And the thing is, I want to make memes of literally everyone in the class, including Liam himself. I found a video on YouTube, and it's clearly like Liam when he is like 8, 9 years old, and it's like a silly vlog. I could use that. So that's very funny. There are a lot of heated moments as well. Heated in a positive way. It wasn't like angry yelling. It's just like, no, you're in frame, get back. And then Cuchillo would like reach his hands out of the balcony, and I would point my camera directly upwards, and I would see like Cuchillo from the very top, from a low angle. It's majestic shot. And then we would see Skylar freaking out, and then Cuchillo rushing down the stairs, and all those will be caught on tape. At some point, Nick carried a bunch of cables and was like, I fucking hate my life, and jumped over some stairs. I caught that on tape. At some point, Bree was running very intensely towards her car. I caught that on tape. I caught so much on tape. It was amazing. I secretly filmed Cuchillo and Zach talking. Not secretly. I was right in front of their faces, just to test their limits. And Cuchillo was like, okay, please don't film this. And I'm like, okay. I'm not going to delete that shit. And at the very end of the day, I filmed Birkin and Liana having an awkward moment. And Birkin's like, please delete it. And I'm like, okay. I'm not fucking deleting it, bro. So it's all amazing. It's so amazing. Let's talk about Leslie a little bit. So yeah, I and Leslie, our relationship got even better today, I feel like. And again, like, she still doesn't treat me like a lover. It's still baffling that May 20th happened. It's almost like it didn't happen. But I feel like our relationship like got meant. Like when I saw her again today, she didn't just ignore me. Like, I was just like, let me think, what are the interactions with her? Like, of course, there are still moments where it's kind of awkward. So there's a moment where Theo, Tyler, and Leslie sit together with the Steadicam operator. And I joined in, and it was a little awkward because Tyler, I wouldn't say he's flirting, but he's such a fucking chat. Tyler's such a chat. Like, he would pick up something from the ground and like give it to Leslie, and Leslie would pick it up. And it's such a cute moment. And I'm like, bro, I wish I'm Tyler. And the thing is, like, if I'm gay, I would so totally have a crush on Tyler. So I'm worried now. And then Tyler would like have a chit chat with her right in front of me, and would just look at them. And then Tyler would be distracted, and Tyler would start talking to the Steadicam op. And I and Leslie had a very awkward moment of silence where I just looked at Leslie and she looked at me. And it became a bit of a staring contest, and I broke eye contact because I'm weak. And then she got bored and she like went away to speak to the Steadicam operator, and it was such an awkward moment. And then lunch happened, and we didn't really talk, but we clearly see each other in that circle. And then a little bit later, it started getting better when, like, I don't know, I was just like, at some point they're filming the Steadicam shot, and I was like petrified. I was like in the hallway, and I was in a very weird position. I was like this, and like Leslie like walked past me, and like Leslie came out of a hallway, and he saw me, and she was like a little shocked. She was like, whoa. And she laughed. And then at another moment, at another moment, I was eating cookie that was late at night when they were setting up for the alleyway scene, and she's like, "Wow, you're having dinner now," or some stupid joke like that. Yeah. I realized that I haven't asked Benny, because Benny drove Leslie home last night. I haven't asked Benny what happened between them. Like what did they talk about? I'm very curious. Because I saw Benny's Instagram, and in his search page, the #1 account is Leslie. So that's sus. And also at some point when I and Benny was in the actors green room, which is one of the side living rooms, Leslie showed up, and I was wearing glasses, and then I put my sunglasses on top, and I guess she found it funny. And then Benny did a fist bump with Leslie. I'm not doing that, but you know. And then Leslie grabbed a math box and like tapped on both of our heads. So again, it's like if Leslie's like in love with me, she would probably like do more to me specifically, but now it's almost like we're just okay. We're just nice classmates to each other, but that's still very great. At another moment, same spot, Leslie came back and asked me to open the door to the study, which became the camera room. So I opened the door, and she joked around saying, "Wow, you touched camera equipment. Wow, you're breaking the rules." And I'm like, "Yep, Film LA revoke our permits." But yeah, at some point tomorrow, hopefully lunch, I would love to walk up to Leslie and ask her for a private conversation so that I can not come clean, but like talk to her about the quote unquote argument, and really like iron things out, because she's still not reading my text, and she's still not looking at my Instagram stories. So I just really want to come clean with her, and I don't want to be weak about it too. Like, I want to be firm, and I want to be more emotionally mature than she is. But she clearly can tell that I'm having a lot of fun today, and she's probably pretty confused, but also impressed that I can suddenly become really happy and positive. I just think our brains are all kind of fucking fried today. So we're all suddenly like, we went to the rock bottom on day 1, and then suddenly we're like kind of positive and uplifting. So today was not bad. There was trouble. At the very end, I and Cliff became the last 2 people to leave. I was going to call Lyft with the code, and the code failed. It worked, and then it failed. And then I still called Lyft, and Birkins dealt me $30. And the Lyft kept getting worse and worse. We can't find a driver, so we changed it to Uber, and an Uber driver accepted the request, but originally it took 7 minutes for the driver to come, and then it became 8 more minutes, 9 minutes, 12, 13. So Cliff called the Uber instead, and then finally worked, but the price is literally doubled. It's like 60 something fucking dollars. What the fuck? So yeah, and then we came home super late. I'm super tired. I'm gonna directly go to bed. Who cares?